Okay, so now I am in servlet 1. What is the servlet name? Add number servlet test. Okay, what I'm going to do, I want to add this number. I want to send this information to another servlet. That servlet will square the number. There are two different tasks. Okay, so now I want to send this information to another servlet. So in this servlet, what I have done, I have collected the result, I have collected the some information, I have collected the food also, but my intention also to do some mathematical operation, not in this servlet, in another servlet or in another class, not in this class. So I want to send those entire information to another class or another servlet. Okay, so I want to send this information, or I want to so how I can send, I can create a alias name that, let's say, you used to do in the form of URL pattern name. Okay, so say, let's say the alias name is square, square. Copy and come back to another servlet I already created for you. Okay, you can create when you get the time, you can create, right? Because same example again, if I write this code, probably it will take time. Okay, so if you're not able to understand, please let me know. No worry about this commented code. Okay, just come back, come here to do post method. Okay, how why do post method, why not do get method? Who can tell me? In the entry point of the class, which method I declared in the HTML?
ये action में हमें do post नहीं चाहिए.
Okay, action name I have given add, and method is equal to post. That's why I've overridden the do post method. Right now, these methods are overriding, right? These are overridden methods, whether do post or do get method. Okay, I selected do post method, and from do post method I'm sending my information to another servlet. Obviously there it should come to the do post method. That's why I ignored the do get method and I did it with the help of do post method. Okay, then how to fetch the data? How to fetch the data? What data I send from this servlet to any other servlet? This result, mobile and food. Result, the key is folded, s10 is folded, momos is folded. In all this information, all this information stored in the request object. So I'm sending to another servlet. What I'm sending? Request, right? So how to fetch all the data from the HTML? Now we are fetching the data from HTML or from the previous servlet. What is the servlet name? Add number servlet test. How to fetch the data? What are the data are there? There are mobile, food, result, many information. So we can use request.get attribute. Very important. Request.get parameter, those things we cannot use. We cannot directly, we can use it from HTML. Okay, whatever data you are sending, or JSP, whatever data you are sending. In servlet, you can use request.get parameters. From servlet to another servlet, you can use request.get attribute directly. Who can tell me, can I use request.get parameter? Will it work? Who can tell me? Request.get parameter.
Yes sir, it will work.
Okay, it will work. It will work. Num1. Just you can test it. Put it in a string. Number 1 for test. Okay, is equal to. For the testing purpose, you can put a system out println or something, or else directly you can print here. You can print. Okay, so now I'm going to I have collected all the information from the servlet one. Okay, servlet one with the help of requested get attribute. Get attribute return type is object. That's why we have to typecast. Who can remember this typecasting thing? We have done in core Java many places. At least a single place. Who have remembered? Any idea? Have you remembered? Anyone remembered? At the time of deserialization, have you remembered? Read object method was there. Right? First we serialize the data, object student data. We call the write object, right? First we got the file output stream, then object output stream, and object output stream we call the write object, and we return this information to the file, and we give the then we gave the file path. We found all the byte coded data. I mean the data we are transferring from one place to another place, you are putting in a file which is in byte format. Have you remember? You have opened, then you could not find, you could not read it, those information. Okay, and then you sent it to another place, or let's say same place also. How at the time of you are fetching the data, you call the file input stream, then object input stream. Once you get the object input stream, o in s dot read object was giving you the object return type. Then you typecasted into the student, then you found the student, right? Then you call the get name, get id something, then you found, right? Have you remember? Okay, this those things we did a typecasting, right? Another place maybe at the time of iteration, if you have remembered, maybe okay, but this is one place where you have typecasted. Another somewhere we typecasted because our return type was the object type. So have you remember next? Okay, okay. Please go through core Java also. I mean simultaneously. Okay, those are little yeah, those are little special cases. Yeah. Yeah. So come back to this place. Okay, can you see? I've collected all the data. Now I'm going to print. How to print this data in this servlet or on the console? Not console, on the browser, right? Console you directly you can system out println. Okay, but how to print the data in console? There is a out object required. Response dot get writer. It will give the print writer object. Then I can call I can out that object dot println. Then I can see the data on the console. Okay, how to execute? Can I execute this one? Test project without XML. Let's see. Give two numbers. Okay. So you got the result 5 and 6. You gave the data 11, 5, 6, and you are getting the square. Then you collected this S10 and the food item momos. And what is this 5? 5 because you can use request dot, sorry, you can use request dot get parameter. It's not allowing me because in the square I have already collected a number 1. What is the number 1? 5, right? So 5 is also collected. So you so you so you learned two things. One is you can send the data from one servlet to another servlet with the help of request object, request.set attribute. Okay, there you can fetch the data with the help of request.get attribute. But another thing, you are, as you are sending request object, so you can also use a request.get parameter. But here one twist, if I would have used, if we would have used send redirect in place of request dispatcher, then what would have happened? In place of request dispatcher, if I use send response dot send redirect, right? Because that in that case also, in that way also we can send the data from one servlet to another servlet, right? Response dot send redirect, send redirect. I can give the information square, copy. If I don't use this one, who can tell me, does this work or will it work? What happened? I'm getting some exception, servlet exception. You remove the catch clause. Okay, I've done done some changes. Who can tell me, if I'm sending this data from this servlet to a square servlet, do you think in square servlet will I be able to get those all information? Will it work? Let me restart. Okay. Oh, copy. Will it work? This time I'll give 5, 6, error. Who can tell me why this it's not happening here? Because you know, it is not happening here because I am sending data as the help of send response dot send redirect. I am not sending the request. So I am not sending the request. But from response, what you get? That time you will get fail. So that's why there is another way, is a session way, session. Okay. If you create a session, yesterday we discussed about that. Okay. If we create a session object, how to create a session object? HTTP session, right? HTTP session, SSN, is equal to request dot get session. In this way, in this case, now you can add this information, this again session dot set attribute, session dot set attribute, session dot set attribute. You can use this thing, then only will be successfully available. Why I am getting send redirect square? What happened? All good? Okay. SSN. Who can tell me? Same thing will happen there in Spring session request. Okay. Now I am sending the session. Okay. Now I'm attaching the session. Now I can fetch the data with the help of session. Again I have to create the session object. Who can tell me how to get the session information? Again I have to create a session object. HTTP session. HTTP session. SSN or any name. SSN, whatever, is equal to request dot get session. Now you have session object. No, you can do all this thing. How you can iterate the value? SSN dot get attribute. At least I can get at least one thing. Who can tell me get attribute? What are the things? Which attribute do you want to have? You set so many things. You set result. You set mobile. You set food, momos, whatever. At least a single one. Let's see. Let's hit this food item. Okay. Copy. Let's say whether I'm getting momos or not. Get attribute. Food is a string value, right? But what this what this get attribute will return? Object, right? Then how to see the food item, whether momo is coming here or not? See, for sure you won't get momo or anything. You won't get by the help of request if you use send redirect, because send redirect itself says you are sending the response. You are not sending any request. In request, so many things you are unfolding. Request dot get attributes, request dot get attribute, food, mobile, so many things, but forget about request. So that's why I have done another arrangement, that is response, that is session. Okay, session. I have created a separate thing, session. Session can help you in this way, in this case. So I am interested to at least the what this send redirect contain. This contain all this information, all this information, all this information. To which place it is sending? Another servlet. How the another servlet is coming to know that it is coming from the servlet one, which name is add number, whose name is add number servlet? Because my destination, I am in destination. For that, I have checked, hey, square is there, square is there, because I was doing same thing with the help of web.xml, but now I'm not using web.xml. But our intention to just demonstrate the web.xml thing. But in additionally, I'm adding another thing, whether if you are using request dispatcher or send redirect. In both the case, all are same? No. Answer no. Then what next? If you are using send redirect, then you have to create a session object. Again, same thing, you can set the value. There is a request.set attribute, same thing like session.set attribute. Again, how to fetch the data? There you are using request.get attribute, right? Here you can use session.get attribute. Okay, session.get attribute. Session, where is the session? Yeah, session.get attribute. But there in as the using requested get attribute, you were no, it was not required to create a request object. Request is always there, request is always there. Request and response will be always there from one servlet to another servlet, whether from HTML to servlet. But session, are you able to see any session here? No. That's why you have to create a session object at the time of setting the value. At the time of setting the value, and at the time of getting the value. But at the time of setting the value, did you require to create a request object? Request, new request? No, because request response are the very common part of the do post method. It is already created at the time of this class object get created. This class object is who's creating? JVM is creating? You are creating? Am I creating? No. Tomcat, servlet, server is creating. And where it is keeping all this object? Let's say today there is two servlet object. It could be 3, 4, 5 servlet object. Who knows? There could be inside that could be so many other object. Let's say student object or something. Okay, leave that because container can contain the servlet application or servlet classes object, right? So don't worry, server is creating the object for you. Okay, that's why it's a new world. It's a little different. Okay, so here can we see now? Can we try at least session.get attribute? I'm just setting the value of food, right? Set get attribute again object. So what I can do, I can assign this value to string, right? String food value. But again, is a get attribute is a return type is object. So that's why we have to typecast, right? Who can tell me how to do the typecast? Bracket, destination, right? Okay. Food value. Can I get the value? Food value. Print item. Till in food value. I know this won't work. This because these are attached in the request object. It won't work. But at least this will work. It's food value, right? Now let me just restart. Hopefully. Now I was getting this 405. What you were telling? Not supported by target. Okay, 5, 6. I'm adding. What happened? Okay, I have not refreshed. 5, 6. Again, I'm getting error. What is the error? This is not giving me any error. Okay. Should I comment this? Let me create a session. All good. IO exception. What exception is throwing? IO exception. So better what I can do, I can use exception. All will be happy. Okay, food momos. Okay. Food. Okay, there I can get food. food is okay. SSN, okay. SSN object. I can do it in by taking another example because some of you could understand, but all of you may not be understanding because I'm mixing of I'm just keep on changing the things because I can take another fresh example so that I can experiment. Maybe it's just mixing of maybe small mistake, small can cause error. What I'll do, we'll see if it won't work this time. We'll uncomment the thing. We'll keep all the thing as it is to experiment this. I already experimented this yesterday, I think. So we cannot spend more time on this. We cannot. Let's see, just restart. No, maybe small changes is just making the whole code not work. Okay, what I can do, we can just keep it as it is. Don't introduce send redirect. Let keep it as a request dispatcher. Control J, Control S. Here, all good. Control Z. Is okay now? Or okay, let us remove HTTP session. We can do that with the help of another example. Let this request be there. Okay, let this request be there. We can quickly go ahead and start the JDBC connections things. Yeah, let me what I can do, what we can do next time, I will just keep the things separate so that it will be help because what we are explaining because to experiment more thing in a small space, it may it is costing us to get more errors. So it's okay. So what we can do, we can take a separate example as I have done yesterday. You experiment yourself and just come back to me with any error if you are facing, by taking the example of send redirect. Same thing, same example, similar kind of example you can do, and take the help of send redirect. Okay, so quickly we can go ahead and just check another example, which is deal with the uh, uh, um, database from servlet to database. Then only I can start with quickly you can go ahead with JSP. Once our JSP and the JDBC will completed, then quickly I can start either Hibernate Spring or only Spring. Then some point of time I can introduce the Hibernate. Okay, once Spring will be started, Spring will take more time. It is a big, yeah, Definitely, it's a lot of components are there. We'll start with the Spring Basic, Spring Core, that is called Spring Core. It is not like core Java. It is similar. I mean, there is a class concept. So Spring Core, there you can find the association concept, interface concept, class concept, and those things. After that, we'll go ahead with the Spring MVC, which is the one of the biggest component in the whole um, technologies. Like whether it's a advanced Java, whether it's a core Java, is one of the biggest. Okay, it's a framework. Everything is there. It's like mall. Everything will be everything. You can find almost all the things there. That is called framework. So MVC framework. Once we'll complete, then we will. I'll introduce the Spring Boot. Okay, see, quickly we'll go ahead and check one example where user. I have created one example. I was also discussing some point of time. Let me go ahead to that example. User login registration demo. Maybe this one. I think. Okay, all of you. How many ways we can create the object in Java without using except using new operator?
4.
4. Okay. Okay, let's say register. Let's say I know I have not registered to this application whose name is a user login registration demo. I'm a user. Okay, I want to give my registration. I don't know my user ID and password. Okay, let me registration. Let me give information. Okay, let us understand this clearly. Okay, let me discuss this one briefly. This is a page. Okay, what is the starting point of this application? Here I have used web.xml. Okay, here I have used web.xml. No problem whether you use web.xml or you don't use a web.xml. These are the separate different ways. Okay, I've used web.xml. Who can tell me what is the entry point to any dynamic web project? Is it web.xml? Yes, web.xml. Here, what is the entry point? Welcome file, login.jsp. I kept login.jsp. If I would have not kept any name, by default, you would have selected as the name of index.html. But purposefully, I kept this welcome file name is login.jsp. So I have to create a login.jsp ready. Should be ready. Yeah, it is ready. Yes, it is ready. What is this login.jsp? Is it a HTML? No, it is a JSP. Okay, it's a JSP file. So I told you what is the difference between JSP and servlet, or what is the difference between servlet, JSP, and HTML. Okay, so what is JSP? JSP is a HTML. Inside HTML tag, the Java codes are there. Though its primary is HTML. Inside HTML, you are putting some flavor of Java. But what is servlet? Servlet is the specialty is Java. You are putting some flavor of HTML thing. Yeah, you can write servlet HTML code inside servlet, but it is no use because now there are so many. We are in so advanced stage. There is a time where there is only servlet and we are managing the HTML code inside servlet. We are writing HTML code. Then JSP and servlet came into the picture, combined together, they introduced some, they fulfilled some requirement that we are doing right now. After that, one step ahead, framework came to the market, like Struts framework, Spring framework. Now there is another step, which is framework, but it is Spring Boot. It's a part of Spring framework, but it is very special. Okay, so Struts is little outdated from the market, but even though if you understand Struts, if you understand servlet JSP combined together, it's easy to understand other, whether it's a framework, whatever. Okay, in Struts framework, it's similar to Spring, but there is some small some drawbacks. That's why Spring went so advancedly, and it just overcome the Struts. But there are so many projects in the market. When I'm talking about market, you know what do you mean by market? It is not the national wide, it is international wide. Wherever, which organization, I'm talking about all together. Okay, but there are a lot of projects still working, still going on in the servlet and JSP, and still also with the Struts. And Spring, maybe 10-15 years back it introduced, and it I mean, it surpassed all the technologies, and it's and boom. Okay, anyway, but still there are a lot of projects, and there are a lot of requirement are like they wanted convert their old project to the new advanced technology, like Spring Boot or Spring MVC. But who will work on those? The person who will the software, the developer will work on this this whole requirement, right? Then how you can convert those old things into the new thing? First he has or she has to understand the old thing, right? Whatever it's a old or new, that has to understand the technology. Once can understand the technology, understand the requirement, then he can think, he can relate, hey, this thing, if it will be changed to the new, then okay, here I have to do the changes. Okay, and that time you cannot say, hey, I don't know servlet, I don't know Struts. Okay, maximum servlet. So once you understand the servlet, then it is easy, servlet or Struts or other framework, Spring. Okay, Struts is based out of MVC, model view controller. Spring also MVC. Even though there are new technology like Spring Boot, that's okay. But back in background, there is a MVC structure. Okay, they replace. I mean, they introduce some new thing, and they made it as a Spring Boot. But it's so easy because in background somebody is doing a lot of work on behalf of you. Don't think it is don't think it is easy, or it is things are not happening. Things are happening, but somebody is doing. Who is that somebody? Okay, we'll understand. Anyway, but so this is the entry point is login.jsp. So what is the, we'll understand the business. Okay, I am not going details into the color and the table, how those things if I sometime we can discuss. Okay, but our main intention, the business, understand the JDBC. Okay, how to connect the database from your servlet. Okay, so the moment I'm hitting this URL, what is happening? One action is happening, clicking. What is that action name? Either submit or registration. Okay, can you see there Ahref? Okay, this is a feature in HTML. Okay, you can give Ajay, you can give Ajay. Okay, can you see this is a login? But can you see, is it a submit button or something? No, it's a link. Okay, if I click this link, what will happen? If I click this link, come back to the code, come back to your JSP. If I click this registration, what will happen? Any action will be occurred? No. What will happen? If I click registration in here on your screen, it will take you to a JSP. Okay, then we'll go to the JSP. We'll see. In this JSP, I told you JSP is the Java code inside HTML. Can you see HTML? HTML started, ended. Inside HTML, there is a header. Okay, this is common. This is common for every JSP or HTML. Okay, you can remove this. That is your choice. If I click registration, can you see insert title here? This is the header. Okay, can you see insert title here? Okay, so this is not that much. Yeah, you can understand this way. Suppose you are interested to change the value, you can change anything, you can write anything that will be reflected there. Okay, okay, Control Z. So this is header. Okay, for main intention, what this registration page is doing. This registration page, does this page contain any action? Yes. How you can notice that? Because can you see, if I hover my mouse, it's a blinking, or it is just popping register. If you want to understand more, come here. Can just select, is there anything called register? Find, control find. Yeah, some register action is there. Good. Register action. When this action will be occurred? If I do something, submit button. What is this submit button name? Register. I kept it register. Good. Okay. What is happening? It means it is collecting all the data and sending to another place. What is that place? Who can tell me what is that place? How to find that place? Because this time I have taken the help of web.xml, as like our previously used to do. Okay. Then if you once you you can answer me that way, then I can ask you, if I don't use web.xml, then what would have been the answer? Okay, can I open the web.xml? Let me close so many things. I've opened so many things so that you don't get confused. Let me close. Let me open again. Login now already we discussed. That is no use of login right now. We can concentrate more on register page. Okay, register page. What is the action name? Login. Okay. Hey, which is the register? Sorry, it's a register. Okay, can I come back to web.xml? Control find. Control find. Yeah, it is there. Okay, then who is the who is the action class? Who is the controller class related to that? Can I go controller class? Yes. So here all the business are happening. Okay, so this is now the relation. Now the deal is between, I've opened so many things. Now the deal is between register.jsp and register test, this action, this servlet class, or login.jsp and between this login.jsp and this class register.jsp. Who can tell me why register.jsp? Because we followed the procedure and I found this register action is happening, and that is there inside register.jsp page. This is a JSP page. Register, can you see register.jsp? And any form action is happening? Yes, register. Then how to search the corresponding servlet? We followed the procedure, and finally I found this is the register.test. Okay, because don't worry, because here there is other controller class is present there also, login test, but I'm interested in register test.java. Okay, understand the business logic. Then I will come back again. I'll create one by one. I'll follow the one by one steps and how I have created. What are the Pojo class, whether I have used the Pojo class or not, those things we'll discuss one by one. Okay, so we'll understand how to create the connection over here. So I have collected all the information from my old JSP. Okay, currently I'm in register.test.java. My page, this is my page. The moment I put so many information, it will be collected with the help of request.get parameter methods method. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what I've done, I have created a DAO package. Inside DAO package, I have written a class. Inside this class, I have told this class, hey class, you will take your responsibility is to connect with the database and execute some query and get me the result. Their query could be so many types. Either it could be select statement, it could be insert statement. Your data will be inserted into the table or database. There's an update statement, it's a delete statement. Delete can delete the information from the table. Okay, so those are the SQL statements. So I have asked this class, hey class, you are responsible for doing this operation. I don't want to put all the load to my this servlet class to do all the things. I have done some standard, I followed some standard. I have separate the different team. This team will do this work, this team will do this work, and the servlet class or main class, class means no main method is there, because it is the we can say it's a controller class, it's controlling because it has the do get do post method. Okay, so it will be working for, it will be dealing with the only request and response. Okay, so for that I have done this, I have created this class. In this class I have I have registered a driver. I have followed the register connection object to get the connection object. I followed these two famous state. I put the user ID and password. Okay, if then what where I am doing all these things, I'm doing all these things in a insert to database method. There is a class, there's a method which is a static method. So keeping in mind, I can call this method with the help of class name. Wherever I call this method with the help of this class name, what is the class name? User DO. This will do all these lines of code. It will execute. What is the destination? What is the destination of this code? What is the output of this code? What this method is doing? This method is one by one. It's doing what it's doing. Understand? It is doing insert into user values question. It means, hey, hey method. At this lines of 24, line number 24, I'm as a developer, I've written code. I'm asking, hey method, do this for me, na? Please insert this table name user and value like this, na? Then this code will be telling, okay sir, I'll do for you, no worry. Okay, and it will do for me. How it will do? Understand? Okay, so can I create a user object here? Okay, no problem. Okay, inside this method, can I pass user variable? Because every time we used to pass integer I comma integer j. So keeping in mind that we can add this to value I plus j, but we already discussed in core Java. Can I pass a reference of an object or a class into the method? Yes, possible. I have done same thing. Keeping in mind there is a user class. Okay, and in user class there are so many getter setter method. Then question will arise, sir, how we can decide which getter setter method will be there? Because I'm dealing with all this information. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 data I will give here. 7 data. There should not be less number of data. There should be more or same. So for the timing, we can understand very simply. Okay, we can add slowly the new flavors, but very basic level 7 data. So I have all the getter setter method. Keeping in mind, I have a getter setter method. Yes, I have constructor. Yes, also I have overridden the toString method. Yes. So come back to the DAO. So keeping in mind, I can do all these things. I can deal with the user object. Okay. So can I do one thing? Can I user dot get first name? If I call this method, what user object will return me? First name it will return me, right? But you can ask me the question, sir, how you know how your method get first name return this value first name? There should be, before getting this value, there should be a setter value. Getter setter, that encapsulation concept says, if you call a getter method, please call the setter method and please set some value. Then only getter method will return the get value. Okay, you can ask me and you are valid, your question is valid. So to understand that thing, we can go into the controller class. In controller class, can you find this user dot set first name? I'm setting the value one by one. User dot set last name, user dot set username. So before, again, to understand this, you can ask me, sir, have you created the object, user object? Yes, I have done. Okay, no worries, one by one. I'm just is because so many things we have done here. Okay, we are no more at just sending the data, fetching the data by using request.get parameter. No, we are one step ahead. We are getting the data and we are ready to store this data into a database. Okay, so that's why little more components are keep on adding to this requirement. Okay, so I think